Why is someone's religion being discussed in a Hollywood legal dispute? That's exactly what's happening in the ongoing legal chatter involving Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. Suddenly, a personal belief system, something many people keep private, has entered a public, legal conversation. And just like that, what could have stayed a niche courtroom detail exploded into a broader debate about faith, power, intent, and storytelling in Hollywood. So, why is Baldoni's religion being mentioned at all? Is it relevant or just sensational? And what does this say about the way we talk about belief, bias, and accountability when celebrities are involved? Grab a seat. We're unpacking what's being reported, why it matters, and the bigger questions it raises, without the legal jargon headache. And trust me, by the end, you'll see this story very differently. Curious how a personal belief can become a public talking point? Let's start at the beginning. Before we zoom in on religion, we need the wide-angle lens. At its core, the reported dispute between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively is tied to creative control, decision-making, and authority surrounding the It Ends With Us film project. What's been discussed publicly suggests disagreements over who had final say, how certain choices were made, and whether boundaries, professional or otherwise, were crossed. It's the kind of behind-the-scenes tension that's not uncommon in Hollywood, except this time, it didn't stay behind the scenes. As legal arguments surfaced, so did details meant to establish context, the motivations, values, and frameworks each party brings into the collaboration. And that's where Baldoni's religion reportedly enters the conversation. When a personal belief system is referenced in a legal setting, it's usually not about judging the belief itself. Instead, it's about explaining behavior, intent, or decision-making. Think of it like explaining why someone makes the choices they do, what values guide them, what frameworks they operate within. In reports surrounding this dispute, Baldoni's religion is said to be mentioned as part of a broader effort to paint a picture of his worldview. Supporters argue it provides insight into his approach to storytelling, leadership, and interpersonal boundaries. Critics worry it risks blurring the line between relevant context and unnecessary personal exposure. Justin Baldoni has long been vocal, outside of this dispute, about using storytelling as a tool for empathy, healing, and reflection. For some observers, mentioning his religion helps connect the dots. This is why he approaches projects the way he does. It's seen as explanatory, not accusatory. But Hollywood has a complicated relationship with faith. When belief systems show up in entertainment spaces, reactions can range from admiration to discomfort. Some see values as grounding. Others fear they might influence creative spaces in ways that feel restrictive. And that tension between personal conviction and professional collaboration isn't unique to this case. It's just rarely discussed so openly. Some users defended Baldoni fiercely, arguing that referencing his religion was unfair and invasive. Others questioned whether personal beliefs should influence professional power dynamics at all. A few went further, turning the conversation into a broader debate about faith in modern workplaces. It's important to say this clearly. Mentioning Baldoni's religion doesn't negate Blake Lively's claims or experiences. Legal disputes are not zero-sum games where one detail cancels another person's perspective. In legal disputes, context is a double-edged sword. Done right, it humanizes. Done wrong, it distracts. Attorneys often introduce personal background to establish intent. What was the person trying to do? Pattern. Is this behavior consistent? Credibility. Does this align with their public and private actions? Religion, when mentioned, usually fits into that first category. But it must be handled carefully to avoid prejudice, positive or negative. This dispute taps into something much larger than Hollywood. How much of our inner world belongs in our public roles? We ask this question everywhere: workplaces, politics, schools, friendships. When do personal values enrich collaboration, and when do they complicate it? So why is Justin Baldoni's religion coming up in his legal dispute with Blake Lively? Because in complex conflicts, people look for context, and belief is one of the most powerful contexts there is. But context isn't a verdict. It's a lens. And lenses can clarify or distort depending on how they're used. As this story continues to unfold, the most important thing we can do is stay curious, not combative. Thoughtful, not reactive. Informed, not impulsive. What do you think? Should personal beliefs ever factor into professional or legal disputes? Where do you draw the line between context and privacy? Share your thoughts, spark a conversation. And if this breakdown helped you see the story more clearly, pass it along. Sometimes, the real takeaway isn't the headline, it's the questions it makes us brave enough to ask.